It's too hard to find a reason why I'd even try. Empty but I'm still wasting my time just getting by. As I'm drowning slowly, I'm screaming through nothing, just to feel something. Is anyone listening? The more I see it, the deeper I sink it. Is anyone listening? Lights up, but I'm prisoner of my mind. And I'm falling apart, pretending, believing that I know I'm not inside. It's so real, it kills me slowly. I'm screaming for nothing, just to feel something. Is anyone listening? The more that I see it, the deeper I sink it. Listen for the echo, the echo. It's the sound of echo, the echo, the echo. I scream into nothing, just to feel something. Is anyone listening? I scream into nothing, just to feel something. Is anyone listening? The more that I see it, the deeper I sink it. Battery low. Power off.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Well, I guess we're not doing my normal long intro. That's what happens when you use your Bluetooth speaker for about 5 hours in the car. All right, so we got our microphone here. We're ready to go. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Very impromptu kingdom. I had different plans for tonight. Obviously, those plans fell through. When I got home, nobody was out, and the bonfire was dying. So anyway, guys, how is everybody tonight on this Thanksgiving? We are going to kick off the holiday season the right way. I'm in a very, I guess, holiday spirit, if you want to call it that. I'm in a pretty good mood tonight. So then again, I haven't been at work for a week. So holiday vacation. Gotta love it. Anyway, guys, don't have much else to really talk about other than episode 95, which was absolutely insane. And if you guys thought episode 95 was good, I'm about 130 slides or so into the season finale. So season finale, I promise, is going to be amazing. I know you guys are all finding that freaking hilarious that my Bluetooth speaker died. Yeah. Like I said, I wasn't planning on going live when I got home, but I got bored, so decided, what the heck. Other than that, tomorrow I plan on doing some Black Friday shopping, not doorbuster Black Friday shopping, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that to start my Christmas shopping for the girls. Other than that, we are ready to go with this live stream. I want to thank you guys for joining me live tonight. I hope you guys all had happy Thanksgivings. Amidst my insanity, I did a lot of cooking yesterday, baking and doing salads and whatnot. But so we're going to just go ahead and jump into episode 95. It started off with where we left off in the prior episode 94 with Cream having to do battle with Aeon and Eclipse the Darkling. Oh, and Sunset Shimmer. So as episode 94 ended with Sunset Shimmer getting a hold of Cream, or not Cream, Cheese. I meant Cheese. She got a hold of Cheese and is pretty much holding him hostage to keep Cream from getting involved in Aeon's revenge against Eclipse. So the episode starts off. Aeon basically tells Cream, let me have my revenge, Angel, and nothing is going to happen to your child. So Cream backs down and allows Aeon to at least start his fight with Eclipse. Cream is trying to formulate a plan. Again, Cream's only mission in all of this is to retrieve Aeon's amulet in full tact. So no mortal can have the power of the God of Power, or the Triad of Power, however you want to call it. So the battle starts, but really before the battle starts, Aeon pretty much has to go through Eclipse's 20 henchmen that are there in order to get to Eclipse. Now, in the past, Aeon has had troubles dealing with, Eclipse's henchmen. Aeon himself, like before he used his amulet, Aeon gets most of his power from that amulet. Whether that be from chaos energy that's been stored. His amulet basically stores energy, and that's how Aeon gets the basis of his power. So he has always struggled against Eclipse. And if you guys don't know the backstory in HC with Eclipse basically wiped Aeon's entire tribe out, killed pretty much everybody Aeon loves, and all for that amulet. So Aeon decided to flee and go use his amulet to travel to Equestria in search of, the Triad of Power. So we go into opening credits. After the opening credits come out, the fight between Aeon and the 20 henchmen begin. Now, I did not want to draw this fight out particularly long. The name of this episode, and I forgot to mention it in the intro, the name of the episode is The End of Aeon and a New Threat Arrives. So we'll get into the new threats. If you guys already know who that is, let's be honest. So we come out of the credits, and the fight between Aeon and his henchmen begin. So this fight with the 20 henchmen, again, I didn't want to drag it out. I wanted it to be quick, to the point. And I really wanted to show how brutally powerful Aeon is with the God of Power, with the Triad of Power inside of his amulets. I really wanted to showcase how powerful he's become using stolen powers, essentially. And if you guys recall, the whole basis of him going for the Triad of Power was to get revenge on Eclipse. That was the whole basis of why he was going for that power. So he makes quick work of these 20 henchmen. And Eclipse immediately, he can't sense Aeon's divine powers at this point. Because he can't sense divine power, but he immediately knows there's definitely something different with Aeon. Because Aeon has never had that quick a success against his henchmen. Before we go any further, I do want to jump in the chat. Happy Thanksgiving, Plush. Happy Thanksgiving, Nicole. Let's see. A happy Thanksgiving, Jay and Nisha Jones. I appreciate all of you guys being here. Like I said, this was not planned by any means. I wasn't even planning on doing this live stream at all this weekend. But like I said, I got home and pretty much my neighbors were all tired out and the bonfire was literally just smoking at that point. So I was like, well, I guess we're not hanging out tonight. I went to my mom's for Thanksgiving, and like my mom had at least 20 people in her house, so it was a nice get together and whatnot. So I had a good Valentine's Day. I'm really looking forward to charging up my Bluetooth speaker and going out shopping, listening to Christmas music on it. So yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow. The craziness of the holidays. Shockingly, I'm in the holiday spirit this year. I do plan on doing a holiday live stream if I do get the season finale out before Christmas. I am going to do pretty much a Christmas themed esque live stream. Hopefully. But other than that, guys, so getting back into the episode, the fight now begins between Eclipse and Aeon. The fight itself was overall pretty quick. I did not want to drag out the Eclipse fight for very long. I wanted Eclipse to give Aeon a little bit of a challenge. I didn't want to make him a complete pushover. So the fight starts off pretty hot and heavy, pretty quick. Just a lot of punches being thrown. A lot of Solaria has pushed me over, jokingly. So the fight starts. It's a pretty quick and intense fight. At some point during this fight, Eclipse gets the upper hand pretty quickly. Knocks Aeon through mountains. Well, he does that. Actually, he kills Sunset first. Much like he did with Amber, he killed Amber, which was Aeon's friend from Aeon's tribe. They were really close friends. I think that may have been Aeon's love interest. But I know him and Amber were very close. So he does the exact same thing to Sunset right away. He literally kills Sunset right off the bat, pretty much. Just shoots a death beam straight through her skull. And that was pretty savage. New girlfriend, I see. And he pops her like right between the eyes. After that, Aeon tries to heal her, or as he's in the act of trying to heal her, that's when Eclipse kind of jumps him and starts to attack him right away, because he knows Aeon is a lot more powerful than he was the last time that he saw him 20 years prior. So he knocks Aeon through the mountains, and Cream tries to you're not going to talk sense into a murderous monster like Eclipse. So Cream basically yells at Eclipse, like, how could you do that? That you killed her like it was nothing. And Eclipse tells her, I've killed hundreds of billions of other people. This is nothing. And then he knows Aeon's amulet is capable of healing. So rather than allow Aeon to heal her, he then shoots a already dead Sunset. He blasts her body into oblivion, so Aeon cannot heal her, much like he did with Amber. So Aeon comes back. He gets the upper hand on Eclipse. So the other thing is once Sunset is killed, obviously Cheese is set free from Sunset's grip, which does play a factor kind of in the upcoming sequence. So again, we see Aeon come back, and then he returns the favor on Eclipse, beats the crap out of Eclipse, and then I think he blew up a mountain. He blows up the mountain range after he knocks Eclipse through the mountains. After that, Aeon then turns his attention to Cream, and basically asks her what happened to Sunset. Where is she? And then Cream basically says, you already know what happened to Sunset. And that's when Aeon says he obliterated her, didn't he? He blasted her into pieces to the point where I can't heal her. So Aeon already knows that Sunset's gone for good. Like, he can't bring her back. He can't do any of that stuff because her body has been disintegrated. At this moment, Cheese flies by. He flies past Cream and Aeon, and as he's flying through, he literally grabs the amulet off of Aeon's neck and then tries to fly off. Aeon calls him some names and then chases after him. As Aeon is chasing after Cheese, then we see Eclipse come out of the mountain. He explodes out of the mountains. And then as he's going after Aeon, he's heading directly at Aeon. He happens to spot Cheese like in his path line. And he sees that Cheese has the amulet. So now Cheese is caught in between Aeon and Eclipse with the amulet. And obviously both Aeon and Eclipse want the amulet. So before we go any further, I'm going to jump back into the chat. Janessa Jones, Aeon should just not get Sunset involved. Otherwise, she died, which she did, sadly. And if he really cares about her, he shouldn't have involved her in the first place. I agree. The reason I had Sunset go with Aeon is for that exact reason. So she can die, get killed off again. I mean, Aeon could have left her back in present day Equestria. But there was always that risk that Sunset was going to get spotted because this was past Sunset that he brought with from the past. Obviously, because present day Sunset sacrificed herself for Twilight. And much in the same manner, her body, present day Sunset, her body was reduced to pretty much ash thanks to her mother, Soletta, because she jumped in front of Soletta's fire wave and protected Twilight. Solaria has stolen my wheelchair. I'm still on my wheelchair. Thank you. And apparently Cream is highly traumatized, and Cream's trauma knows no bounds. Ace Plush, who is the voice of Masked Infinite. I'm going to say Masked Infinite. I'm going to voice Infinite later on down the road when he's not masked, because I came up with a pretty cool voice for Infinite. But Plush is Masked Infinite. So anytime you hear Infinite with that dark kind of satanic voice, he's wearing the mask. And that's Plush voicing Infinite. Infinite coming to Sonic Dash like a day or two after the recent episode came out was insane. The stars freaking aligned on this one. It always seems to work like that. And that's a funny point that you made, Plush, because in the HC lore, now if you go back to My Little Pony, Rainbow Dash's mom was never introduced in the series. So like when I came out in the HC that Rainbow Dash's mom was dead and that it was just her and her dad, Bull Blaze, short for Rainbow Blaze, you had only seen Rainbow Dad with her father. In one prior episode, they showed a flashback of Rainbow Dash with her father. So nobody saw Rainbow Dash's mom. So as a fan base, we kind of thought Rainbow Dash's mom maybe died. I don't know. Because it's like when you saw Rainbow Dash with her dad, it was just her and her dad, and her mom wasn't there. So like literally a month after I released that episode of announcing that Rainbow Dash's mom was dead or had died, My Little Pony came out with the episode that introduced Rainbow Dash's mom. So I was just like, really? I'm like, really, Hasbro? You had to do that to me? Really? It's just, so it's funny how that kind of stuff does work like that. It's like, well, yeah, it's a funny coincidence that's what they did. I shook my head when I found out, because they announced it like 3 weeks. Oh, you get to meet Rainbow Dash's mom. I'm like, really? I just released my last episode was literally announcing that Rainbow Dash's mom had passed away. Like, damn it. Like, you want to kick yourself in the head. Cream says, Mr. Shadow couldn't even help me calm down. Not even any guns. Cream has not been introduced to guns yet in Harmony and Chaos. I say yet. Yet. Again, this is some funny banter that Solaria and I do in VCs. And sometimes some of it is so good, it's like, I got to bring some of this to the series because it's just comical and funny. And sometimes I feel like HC is a very intense, violent, and dramatic series. So sometimes I feel like we do need some funny moments. Um, we get some funny moments in the season finale before the crap hits the fan in the episode. I'm actually very happy with how the season finale is coming along right now. It's got it's got some shocking moments already, and I'm just now starting the fight sequence that ends the episode. So, like the prior 120 slides, it's very frantic. There are some funny moments, and some of the moments are pretty funny. Janisha Jones, sorry to ask, but is your voice okay since you did this episode? And what about the others? Are their voices okay? Yeah, overall, our voices are good. Episode, I've already. It's so funny because yesterday on Discord I was talking with Plush. I sent out like a general chat in the VC, and not the VC but the general chat. And I was like, I'm already sending my condolences to @Ace Plush. We're going to die in episode 96. My condolences to our voices. I'm like, because be prepared. And I even told him, like, the fight sequences are very frantic, very fast paced, and they're very violent with a lot of stuff going on. Like, yeah, I'm just going to say in the first 3 minutes of the fight, Sonic gets his ass absolutely handed to him. So I'm just going to forewarn you. And it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant, Plush. Sonic gets fucking decimated in the first 3 minutes of this fight sequence. So, like, I'm going to forewarn you. And yeah, it's pretty bad right off the bat. The whole episode is frantic. The whole season finale will be frantic. It's everywhere, and it's fast paced, and you get a lot of different perspectives of what's going on. So you'll get this group's perspective and this group's perspective as this fight is going on. And so far, it's pretty cool. I'm happy with how it's turning out. But yes, Janesha, our voices are fine overall. We had a little bit of sound issues with this episode, which, again, when the sound cuts in and out, there's not much I can do to try to retrieve it. This is a Discord issue. And I know it's a Discord issue because I watch wrestling podcasts a lot. My main guy is JD from New York. He uses Discord, DPS, or whatever it is. But they go through Discord too. And every once in a while, like, they'll have some sound issues, which there are certain days we get fantastic sound and connection from Discord and we don't have any issues. This episode, on and off, like quick glancing at the bars, it was like going from low yellow to green. We would be in the green for a while, then it would drop down to red. I mean, I think I actually had to reconnect at least once or twice. Usually I have to reconnect minimum 2 or 3 times during a voice session. This time it was literally twice. We recorded that entire episode in 3 hours, which for 150 slides, most of it was team voiced. I didn't have a whole lot to voice on my own. We got to it a couple of weeks ago, 2 Sundays ago. We really got at it and we killed it. So kudos to my entire voice team. You know, we got in there and we slayed. Ace Plush, I'm sure I can at least handle it. I can do fight and hurt sounds pretty well. Yeah, I'm interested. I can't wait. There's one part in particular where Sonic is like screaming in agony, fighting Aeon. Like, it's pretty bad. I'm not gonna spoil it any further, but the fight basically, yeah, it's bad. The fight's not gonna involve all the ponies either, so it's gonna be good. I'm excited for it. I cannot wait. It's coming along really good. Like I said, I'm at like slide 137, so it's gonna be a longer episode. for sure. Season finale episodes typically are long. Like if you've been watching Harmony and Chaos, the anything that's mid-season finale or season finale based is usually a 90-minute episode at least. I don't think it'll be 90 minutes. We'll see. It'll be in the 80-minute range though. Janesha Jones also says, "Oh, that's why," but I'm sure it will get better next time. Lucky I can read, and great job, by the way. Thank you, Janesha. Thank you. Yeah, my voice actors are fantastic. I cannot stress enough how good they are, how talented they are. They put a lot of hard work into voicing this. And that's one of the reasons why we do group recording sessions, because Harmony Cast is a very emotional series. There's a lot of emotional connections with these characters, so we feed off of each other's emotions. Like there was a part where Solaria is literally crying as Fluttershy, and it's like as Vector, I'm like, oh, it's okay, Fluttershy. It was just ad-libbing on my part because you hear Fluttershy crying. It's like, oh, it's all right, Fluttershy. So you find yourself kind of adding lines to it as well. So Solaria said, nah, bro, I died last episode. Yeah. You had a lot of emotional moments with Cream and Fluttershy. We got really sad and somber Cream in the last episode. Like a lot more sad than I originally anticipated her to be. Like, but yeah, I mean, Solaria killed it as Cream. She definitely brought it and made Cream even more sad than I thought she would be. So that was pretty cool. That was good work on Solaria's part. So diving back into the episode again, Cheese is in between Aeon and Eclipse now, which is not a good place for Cheese to be in. So Eclipse sees Cheese with the amulet and without any hesitation decides to just fire a death beam straight at Cheese. So Cream, being an angel still at this point, decides I gotta save Cheese. So she very quickly rushes up. Originally, when I wrote the episode, I actually had Cream getting hit by this death beam, like in the side. I originally had that, but I decided to cut that because I didn't want Cream to get hurt in the episode. I didn't want to give Eclipse that kind of power. I didn't want him to have that kind of power. But originally, I did have Cream getting hit by that death beam on the side as she was saving Cheese. So she saves Cheese and gets to the safe distance. As Cream, Aeon and Eclipse get into another fight, whatever. And then Aeon rushes off after Cream, and he tells her, "So you thought you could outrun me, Angel?" He kicks Cream, sending her toward the ground. At this point, Cheese loses the amulet. And as Cheese loses the amulet, Aeon was able to retrieve it. Cream lands safely on the ground. She's able to slow her descent, whatever. And she lands on the ground safely with Cheese. And then she comes to the realization that Aeon has the amulet again. At this point, Aeon is sick and tired of Cream interfering and having Cheese interfere. And he knows that if I crush this amulet to pieces, Cream and Cheese are going to disappear. And he's going to prevent Eclipse from being able to use the amulet to summon the Triad of Power and thus become the God of Power, a second God of Power in his own right. So he doesn't want Eclipse to have that power. So he crushes the amulet to pieces. As we will come to find out in episode 96, the next episode, this right here seals Aeon's fate. Aeon Aeon should not have done this. This is going to become a critical mistake that Aeon makes, because Aeon, in his own arrogance, thinks that his body has completely absorbed the triad of power, which in this moment, yes, his body has absorbed the powers, but we will come to find out in episode 96 of why this is a mistake, because Twilight is going to have an explanation for Shadow. Actually, it's later on in this episode that you find out why Aeon destroying his amulet is a big mistake. So as this fight continues, Aeon squashes his amulet to dust, and now Cream and Cheese, having failed the mission, Sunset was killed, and now the amulet has been destroyed. And Cream's only mission was to retrieve the amulet to prevent any mortal from using the power of the God of Power, and to prevent the time rift from being opened in Equestria. The time rift that is being referred to is Aeon absorbing past Will Atkinson's powers. If you remember, Shadow and Starlight tracked him to the past, and the only triad he needed was Will Atkinson's piece of the triad, which he got in the past. So now that the crystal, or now that Aeon's amulet is destroyed, all the powers that were in that crystal have to be returned to whence they came. So Sonya and Nightshade in present day Equestria, the moment Aeon's amulet was destroyed, Sonya and Nightshade got their cutie marks back, and they also got their powers back, their Mark of Herc powers. So now Nightshade and Sonya now have their powers back. The powers that were stolen from past Will then open a time rift in Equestria, because they have to go back to the time and to the person in whence they came from. So now Prince Will, or Will Atkinson of the past, now gets his stolen powers back. The problem is a time rift had to be open for that. We'll get into more of that. More of that gets explained in episode 96 as well. So the fight comes to a conclusion. Aeon and Eclipse have a little bit more banter with each other. Aeon is not going to mess around. He literally goes straight into his final form. I'm literally saving the final form for the season finale. You will see the final form in the season finale. It literally is, I'm going to apologize, I'm literally using Nazo, like silver version Nazo. So don't think it's Nazo, it's Aeon. I'm substituting Nazo for Aeon. Sorry, I know, but I've been trying to get my artist to do artwork for perfect God of Power Aeon, but she's very busy with school and stuff like that. So she hasn't been able to get me the art, which is fine. It's not a big deal. So I elected to go with Nazo, which kind of is fine, because I've already kind of used Nazo as Aeon's second form anyway. So it serves the purpose. And I'm not using Nazo in the series anyway. I'm going to go with Enerjack instead of Nazo for the Chaos God. Levi says, school. What's that, Michael? I don't know. I haven't been in school in 2 decades, so I don't know. Well, yeah, almost 2 decades. So we finished this fight. Aeon is kind of... At first, Aeon is kind of suicidal because he's lost Sunset, so he really doesn't give he doesn't really care about his own life at this point. So he goes for the overkill here. And instead of just killing Eclipse, he's got to blow up the whole freaking planet. I know some people in Discord in the general chat have asked me, so what is Aeon's power? Is he basically going to be like a god of destruction? Is his power equivalent to Grand Zeno? Like, what's his? I'm like, nah. I'm like, Aeon is going to have more of the Lord Beerus type of a power where he basically can destroy planets, which we saw planet 3756R get destroyed, overkill. Aeon, like I said, is kind of suicidal, but at the last minute, we don't know if Aeon survived, whatever. I kind of gave it away, I guess. But Aeon, it was supposed to be left as to not thinking Aeon or not knowing if Aeon was dead or alive. So the planet explodes, and after that planet is sent to oblivion, we go to the realm of the gods, where Cream and Cheese have arrived in front of Queen Earthia. And Cream at this point already knows she's in big trouble. And Queen Earthia kind of scolds Cream, says, you failed in your mission. I can't believe you failed. And then Cream tries to tell Queen Earthia, I had the amulet in my possession. Why didn't you use your powers to bring me back? And Queen Earthia said, you were trained how to use your powers properly, Cream. It wasn't in my place to bring you back. You knew how to use your powers and you failed. Now, I question why Queen Earthia would send a quote unquote novice angel to a mission that was this difficult. But in Queen Earthia's eyes, look, if you're going to be an angel, you're going to deal with situations that are not going to be easy. Cream had already succeeded in her first mission, which was, help Spike move on and get over losing her, essentially, and to basically make sure Cosmo stayed safe during that battle with Darkswirl. And she succeeded at that as well. So Queen Earthia decided, in her mind, she didn't think it was an overly difficult mission to send Cream to retrieve an amulet. Cream certainly had Aeon outpowered and outclassed. Had Cream decided to fight Aeon, she would have obliterated him. But Cream being, an adolescent / early teen in Harmony and Chaos and, mentality-wise, Cream has never been a violent character on Sonic. She did have a fight sequence with, what's his name? EM, I think his name was. We talked about this in the Discord chat. Emerald, I think his name, or EM. Whatever, she had that one fight scene in Sonic X against that bot. And the bot didn't recognize any of Cream's moves or whatever, so Cream obliterated this robot that just got done obliterating Sonic and Knuckles. So we have seen Cream fight before in Sonic X. The thing is that Cream she's mentality-wise, she's an early teen adolescent. Okay, yeah, Plush said, his name was Emerald. Yeah, in Sonic X. So Cream actually laid the smackdown on Emerald in that episode. If you guys remember or know about that episode, she beat the bejeebus out of Emerald in that episode of Sonic X. She what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, she owned him. And it's funny because Emerald, a few minutes prior to that, beat the crap out of Sonic. So it was kind of an interesting little tidbit. The thing about Cream in this episode with Harmony and Chaos is that she's not a violent being. So we saw it early on in the episode where she was just horrified at the level of brutality that Aeon exhorted on. She watched Aeon literally obliterate and rip 20 henchmen to pieces, limb by limb, limbs flying. So Cream was traumatized. She didn't know what to do. She's not cut out. As she said, she's not cut out for violence. So, and if you want to really think about it, it was Cheese who stepped in and grabbed the amulet because Cream didn't know what to do as far as violence. I'm getting back. Solaria making fun of me. Michael said bejeebus. He said one of my silly catchphrases. I taught my dad well. Yeah. Yeah, we use bejeebus a lot. Yeah, I did pick that one up from you. Janisha Jones. When Aeon did the same, when Goku killed Frieza and Goku died on Namek due to Goku's spirit bomb. So it's kind of the same with Aeon when he destroyed the planet and now he's MIA. Yep. It's similar to that. Is that where you get that idea for Aeon and Eclipse? Actually, I originally, when I was writing the episode, I was going to have Aeon legitimately commit suicide and die in the planet explosion. But I second guessed myself on it because I wanted to have Aeon have that fight with Sonic. I want more to be done with Aeon. So when the original concept of the episode was Aeon was going to die in that planet explosion. But when I thought about it more, I was kind of like, well, it doesn't make sense that Aeon would just kill himself. I mean, like, yeah, he's lost Sunset twice. And he lost Amber in the past. So pretty much anytime Aeon has fallen in love, he's lost the girl he's in love with. So like, I didn't think it fit Aeon's character to just have him be suicidal completely. Like maybe he second guesses it. So, and if you remember in the episode right before the planet does explode, Aeon tells Eclipse, I won't be on this planet when it explodes. So, yeah. So I don't want to say, no, I didn't get that idea per se from Dragon Ball Z, from the Goku Frieza fight. I didn't get the idea from that. It's basically just a reiteration. I know the little sequence that I used with the planet exploding, that was from the Goku Frieza fight. That was from the Goku Frieza. That was Namek exploding in the Dragon Ball Z series. So yes, I at least used the Namek explosion for the destruction of that planet, 3756R. Solaria swears she is a good daughter. Yes, she is. Levi asked a question: will Sage make an appearance or no? I'm not there yet with Sage. I know who Sage is. I don't want to say yes to that. I have to physically play Sonic Frontiers. I have to buy that game and actually play it to see how Sage comes to be and how, because I don't know how I would make Eggman's daughter showing up in Harmony and Cast. I don't know how I would be able to make that make sense. Again, I would have to play Frontiers, buy Frontiers, and play Frontiers to actually understand like her backstory. I mean, I know y'all could probably tell it to me quicker, but I kind of want to figure it out on my own playing the game. And even if I do use Sage, that's much further down the line. Apparently Solaria is disappointed again. Damn it, Michael, stop making DBZ references in HC. Man, I grew up with watching DBZ, man. Those were my teenage years. Like when it was on Toonami after school. Yeah, she's throwing my little wheelie chair into the stratosphere. No, but the thing is though, I wanted the characters to be able to sense powers and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. That is, if I have taken anything from Dragon Ball Z, it's planet explosions and the ability of these characters to sense powers. I think Shadow can do it. I'm pretty sure Shadow can sense energy as it is. I'm pretty sure he can. I know they can sense, certain characters can sense chaos energy as well. Let's see, where are we? Now that's it for the chat. So, so we go back to the realm of the gods, and Cream is worried that she's going to be erased from existence because she's failed in her mission. Queen Arthaya tells Cream, look, I'm going to try to do everything I can to make sure that fate does not befall you. I want you to go back. I'm going to send you back to Equestria so you can spend time with your friends just in case. I want you to spend whatever time you may have left with your friends, and tell Twilight and tell Twilight about what happened here so they're aware. So Cream, I gotta get a drink. I'm getting hoarse here. So Queen Arthaya sends Cream back to Equestria at that point. After that, we go into a sequence where we go to Twilight's castle. And Shadow and Tails are... Actually, I skipped a part. We forgot about the Pinkie Pie part. So there's a sequence right after that where we go to Pinkie Pie and Shadow. Shadow was sent by Twilight to deliver Pinkie Pie a message from Princess Celestia, informing Pinkie Pie that Princess Celestia wanted to meet her the next morning at Twilight's castle to give Pinkie Pie her fate as to whether or not she would remain the element of laughter. This whole decision is stemming from Pinkie Pie getting into it with Pacific Glow. Again, I wanted to originally actually have that scene in a prior episode where we actually did see Pinkie Pie physically get into the altercation with Pacific Glow. I cut it for time restraints because that episode was at like 80 minutes and I didn't want to drag it out any further. I figure it was something I can explain and then kind of go back to it via we can do like a flashback, which is what I decided what I'm going to wind up doing. We're kind of going to flash back to it at some point. So the other part of this scene that is important, yes, the muffin trauma for Shadow. Yes, I had to go back. I had to reference the muffin from the Derpy episode in the past. So you have the muffin trauma, and then Shadow also tells Pinkie Pie because Pinkie Pie asked the question like, why did Twilight send you here, silly? You could have used the communicators or sent Spike. Well, Spike was kind of on a date or just hanging out with Sweetie Belle per se. And then Shadow told Pinkie Pie, this was not something that Twilight wanted broadcasted over the communicators, which is partially true. But the other aspect of it is we would come to find out that they cannot use the communicators. So even if Twilight and Shadow wanted to use the communicators to inform Pinkie Pie of this meeting, they can't because they're having interference with, we'll get into that here in a few minutes. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Solaria. I forgot Pinkie Pie. This is what happens when I don't take notes and I wing it. So then as that scene ends, we had the muffin trauma. Shadow, Pinkie Pie asked Shadow, well, why are you a Mr. Grumpy Quills? And Shadow at first is very apprehensive. He knows Cream. In his mind, he knows Cream was sent off to deal with Aeon. Like, that's what he's thinking. So he's upset with himself and really doesn't want to talk about it. But he does apologize to Pinkie Pie. And he does say the thing that's pissing Shadow off is we're in serious danger here and no one gives a damn. And he says it very loudly to the point where pretty much everybody at Sugar Cube Corner stops eating and is like, what is wrong with this guy? And then Amy comes out and yells at Shadow, and Shadow's like, I'm leaving anyway. Shut the hell up, Amy. I'm leaving. So right after that scene ends, then we go to Twilight's castle. A couple hours later, it's nighttime, and we go to Twilight's castle. Now we're at Twilight's castle. Logic gaps. Anyway, so we start the scene with Cream appearing at Twilight's castle. And the first person she sees is Spike. So Spike welcomes her back. And she asks, is Shadow and Twilight still here? I have some bad news to tell them. And Spike basically says, yeah, I'll go get Twilight. Shadow's on the balcony. So we go to the balcony. Spike goes to get Twilight. Cream makes her way somberly over to the balcony. Shadow and Tails are having a side conversation on this balcony. And one of the things that comes up is the static interference or the interference of communication with the communicators. Shadow asked Tails, have you figured out why we don't have our communicators? Why are our communicators not working? And Tails is like, I don't know what's going on. We're having some sort of, interference. And he said, we've never had this happen in Equestria before. He's like, and the only way we would be having this if something is in there's something going on in outer space that's blocking our messages, or there's some sort of interference that's coming from the satellite out there. Now the ponies would have to have at least a satellite out there because the ponies have radio, they have television, so they would have to have some sort of satellite out there for something. And as we would watch, if you guys watch and follow G5, the ponies all have cell phones. So in order for them to have cell phones, they would have to have satellites and towers or whatever. So that's neither here or there. So the ponies have a satellite out there, whatever. So the satellite that they're using is being interfered with. And Tails says the only way that would be happening is there's something in outer space, out in Equestria's orbit, that is literally throwing off our communications. Well, we would come to find out that that's Eggman. And it wasn't really Eggman per se. It was, because at this point, Eggman's still asleep. So it's Boku and Deku running tests on the Phantom Ruby. So it's the Phantom Ruby's power mixed with Infinite's power that is throwing off the satellite. And we'll get into that. We'll get into it a little bit more in the next scene because the next scene also plays into that. And Tails even tells Shadow, look, you're not going to like what I have to say, but there is something in outer space that's throwing off our signal. There's something out there. I don't know what, but you can pretty much guess what's going on. The power that Shadow is sensing is Infinite's natural power. He can't sense the Phantom Ruby because Shadow is not an alicorn. I will explain my twist on the Phantom Ruby in further episodes, but keep in mind, Shadow cannot sense alicorn magic power per se. Twilight can, Sonic can, which is going to play into the next scene as well with Sonic. So Shadow having sensed like Infinite's natural power, he knows something is going on up there, but he knows it's not Aeon, so he's not really worried about it yet. So as this scene progresses, Cream comes out, and Shadow is very happy to see Cream. What I'm going to say about Shadow and Cream, as the series progresses, Shadow is going to become very protective of Cream. And he's actually kind of going to become like Cream's father figure. So it's actually really cute. It's actually going to be really wholesome and cute to see Shadow kind of like take Cream under his wing, per se. So Shadow kind of wants to become Cream's protector, kind of. So he's kind of going to like become a father figure to Cream as the series goes on. And it's just going to make for a lot of wholesome moments, kind of, and some funny moments. So And as you see, like Shadow's kind of very happy to see Cream alive. I used the picture of the little head pat where Shadow's like consoling Cream. He's just really happy to see Cream. So, Cream does tell Shadow, because Shadow asks, I'm assuming you were sent off to fight Aeon or deal with Aeon. He's like, I'm so sorry you had to try to fix my mess. And Cream tells him, yeah, it was. She goes, I'll tell you more about it. She goes, but yeah, I'll tell you more about it when Twilight gets up here. So Cream and Shadow have a little bit of a discussion, and then Twilight comes out onto the balcony. I didn't want to have Cream word for word explain what happened. You just saw it happen like 5-10 minutes prior. So you guys knew what was going on. The other scene that I missed, I'll get back into that after we are finished discussing this, because there was a Fluttershy Vector moment that I forgot about too. So we'll go back to that after I finish up with this discussion. So Twilight gets on the balcony. We don't listen to Cream reiterate what we just watched 10 minutes prior. I literally just said Cream tells them the whole story. And then it jumps in with Twilight like, oh my God, that's horrible. So is Aeon dead? And Cream says, well, we can't really confirm Aeon dead. We can't. We can't sense his divine power anymore. It's kind of just vanished. So we don't know if he's dead or alive. What Aeon did do is he used his powers that his body was able to absorb from his amulet or whatever. Him being a god of power opened up a portal to a different time and a different location. So he went into that portal to kind of just whatever. So that's why they can't sense Aeon's divine powers, because he literally vanished from that time dimension. So I'm trying to remember how the scene actually goes. So Shadow and Twilight are kind of in shock over this. Trying to think. No, that's later on in the episode. So it's basically just a rehash. Twilight says, well, I got Princess Celestia coming over in the morning, so I'll have to fill her in on what's going on as well. And it could, this is something that could change Princess Celestia's mind about what she does with Pinkie Pie. After that scene ends, we go to, we wind up going to Rainbow Dash's vacation home. Or like their, her childhood home, which has become their vacation home, in Hoofsdale Valley. Before we get into Hoofsdale Valley, I want to get back into the chat. Solaria is ashamed of me because I forgot a Pinkie Pie scene. Well, and I forgot a Fluttershy Vector scene, which we'll go back to. Janesha Jones, me giving Shadow. Want a muffin, Shady? Shadow. No! Muffins. Come on, it's good, Shadow. He uses the Chaos Spear to destroy the muffins. No muffins, LOL. Shadow and Cream father-daughter moment. Yes, there's going to be quite a few of those. Janesha Jones. Oh, that would be great if Shadow became a dad to her, and it's super sweet to see that moment. Solaria looks at the after show. Muffin trauma. Rah! So, yeah. We getting back into it. I'm going to take a sip. So we get back into the episode. We go to Hoofsdale Valley, where Rainbow Dash and Sonic. If you remember, Sonic went to Hoofsdale Valley to train with his dark form, or not his dark form, but his nightmare version of himself. Twilight taught him how to make copies of himself. So him wanting a challenge, decided to create the evil version of himself that we saw from Dark Swirl, the Dark Swirl arc. So Rainbow Dash went out there after her game concluded. She knew Sonic was out there, so she went out there to just hang out with him and have a couple of chill days with him. Sonic is having issues sleeping. And as this scene gets started, we see Rainbow Dash going out and asking Sonic, "Hey, are you coming to bed? Like, are you still worried about that power you sensed?" And Sonic is like, "Yeah, I'm still worried about it. I sense Soletta. I can sense all kinds of like alicorn magic out there." But Soletta, and he's just like, it's weird. He's like, and then I feel this power. He's like, it's this other power feels so familiar, but it's so different. So Sonic is sensing infinite. And the reason why he senses infinite is because he sensed infinite the day Infinite tried to kill Hunter on Mobius. And we'll get into that more too as the live stream goes on. But like Sonic having that feeling that this power, it's very familiar. Like I've sensed it before, but it feels so different at the same time because there's all those other powers that I'm sensing. See, Sonic having alicorn blood running through him he senses some alicorn. He can sense the imbalance of alicorn magic. So the imbalance in alicorn magic that he's sensing is actually coming from the Phantom Ruby. What? Yes. We would come to find out in later episodes, I don't want to spoil it completely, but yes, the Phantom Ruby has alicorn magic. It's not just alicorn magic either. Soletta had used the Phantom Ruby to collect magic from unicorns and alicorns. So she was using unicorn and alicorn magic inside of the Phantom Ruby. So that's why Sonic is sensing all of these imbalances. Dark Swirl's energy is also in the Phantom Ruby, which is why Infinite is so ridiculously powerful and brings down Nightshade. So you have all these alicorn / unicorn powers inside of the Phantom Ruby, which is a cool spin. Eggman actually says that they found the Phantom Ruby in the Equestrian Empire ruins on Mobius. So they had left the Phantom Ruby in the ruins. When the ponies got banished from Mobius by the Echidnas, that was something that was left behind, and Eggman happened to find it. So that's the big twist about the Phantom Ruby. I wanted it to have alicorn magic and pony magic versus whatever magic is used for the Phantom Ruby, which I think was chaos energy or something like that. It was like part of the Chaos Emeralds. I think is how it went down. So Plush actually says the backstory for the Phantom Ruby in this series isn't too far off from how it was found in Sonic Mania. So yeah, and I have never even played Sonic Mania. That was another one I wanted to buy. So yeah, I do a lot of my research. It was so like if I haven't read a Sonic comic, one of the Sonic comics, I do a lot of my research on literally Wikipedia. I literally do a lot of my research on this, and just out of basic knowledge from what I know about the series in general, because I do know a lot. Even though I haven't played a lot of the newer games, I know a lot from the comics. So why Wikipedia? I don't know. That's what comes up when you type in characters. Why Wikipedia? Use the wiki. That's what I use. I click the wiki. It says wiki. I don't know. Isn't wiki part of Wikipedia? I don't know. Come on, Solaria. You know I'm an old geezer. Come on. I don't know my terminology. You know me. But yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Wikipedia and Wiki are different. Yeah, thank you. I use Wiki. Thank you. The Wiki fandom. Okay. Wiki fandom is what it always says when I am looking up or fact checking myself. I say fact checking. So, yes, I always make sure I try to get, okay, Wiki Fandom. That's good. Good. Yeah, I get all my stuff from Wiki Fandom. Like anything that I don't know, or if I want to fact check, that's where I go. Wiki Fandom. Yep. I'm actually shocked with how much. I'm actually shocked at how much I actually get right, or I'm pretty close to being right on a lot of this stuff when I do my Wiki Fandom searches. And Solaria burned down a skyscraper. Oh man. Levi McClellan, me just casually making a deal with the Daedric Prince / God of Bargains. Oh man. So, oh my goodness. So Sonic being worried about this alicorn magic that he's sensing, this imbalance of alicorn magic. Twilight also senses it, so she knows something is not right. She also senses it. And you find that out in episode 96 when she actually has a discussion with Sonic one-on-one. Shadow's there as well. But she does have a conversation with Sonic in episode 96 where she does say, yes, I was sensing the same thing you were. Ooh, reflux. Oh, my reflux is bad. Janation Jones, sorry to bug you, but have you watched Sonic? What if from the YouTube name the Sega Scourge? Hope he's okay because he hasn't given an update in a couple years. No, I have not. I've never heard of the Sega Scourge. I have not. I watch a lot of Sonic Dub VA. I watch a lot of that. Sasso Studios is another one I watch. Tales and Friends is probably my favorite. I love Tales and Friends. There's a lot of funny stuff on that channel. But those are the ones that I really watch, the big three. Sasso. I watch a lot of Sasso Studios. I watch Sonic Dubs VA, and I like to watch Tales and Friends. Those are the three that I watch of the big Sonic channels. Those are the three big Sonic channels I like on YouTube. And no, you're not bugging me, Janisha. I do these live streams so I can talk to you guys. You guys are free to ask me anything you guys want about the series as long as it's nothing spoiler-wise. Sometimes I accidentally spoil it myself, which I apologize. I think you guys kind of figured out that Aeon was not gone. I think you guys pretty much figured that out before he shows up anyway. So there's no way he was going to die in that nature. No way. At the end of this scene, Sonic, Rainbow Dash says, well, have you tried to call Twilight? Like, are the communicators working yet? And Sonic's like, well, I haven't tried in a couple hours. I guess I could. So he tried, and they get the whole communication static, and that part, my whole static thing got cut out from the episode because fucking Discord, I dropped an F-bomb. Sorry, me dropping F-bombs. The Discord thing cut out as I'm trying to do the whole static. So their communicator thing fails. It gives the whole fail. And Sonic's like, yeah, it's a no-go. I can't get a hold of them. Communicators are still down. He's like, which is weird. So I'm going to have to talk to Tails about that when I get back tomorrow. Sonic already is kind of putting two and two together. That's something. It's whatever he is sensing up there is what is causing the communications. He's already put two and two together in his head. That's what the issue is. So Sonic gets talked into going to sleep for the night because he's like, yeah, well, nothing's really changing. So I'm gonna go to bed for the night because there really isn't anything different going on up there over the last couple hours. So whatever. I am gonna backtrack for a minute because I did skip the Fluttershy Vector date scene as well. So the only really big thing that came out of Fluttershy and Vector's date / sightseeing tour was Fluttershy asks Vector if him and the Chaotix Charmy and Espio would want to move in. Mainly because Fluttershy wants the company per se, and she does want the extra help. She does not mind the extra help. Vector says, "Well, let me talk to the boys and see what they say." Basically, that was really the gist. And then Fluttershy during this scene also tells Vector about what happened and why her and Tails really broke up. She didn't want to tell Vector because she didn't want to scare him off or make him hate her. She was afraid to tell Vector that, well, it was me attacking Tails and almost killing him, basically, why Tails and I broke up. It wasn't just Cosmo coming back. It was the fact that me and the girls and Sonic, we were all under an evil spell, and we couldn't fight the magic off, so we all became evil. And Vector was very understanding, because Vector himself has been through a lot of stuff in his own travels with his team, and with what they went through with the Metarex as well. So Vector has already had his fair share of seeing bad things, so he's completely understanding of what Fluttershy went through. So at the end of the scene, basically, Vector tells Fluttershy, "Well, let me talk to the boys and see what they say." Janisha also says, "Oh, I never seen that. I would give it a watch, and I think you might like it, especially Shadow, where he, spoiler alert, helps Sonic's memories on what if Sonic lost his memories." Yeah, I'll have to check that channel out. The Sega Scourge. I don't even have it in my recommended, which is weird because I watch a lot of Sonic stuff. That's another reason I find out a lot of my facts too. I do watch a lot of Sonic videos. A lot of it's just random stuff, but yeah, the big three that I labeled off are the ones that I really watch. Janesha, I highly recommend if you like funny stuff. Tails and Sonic Pals is very funny. They have a lot of good content. So if you're looking for a good Sonic channel, that's a very good one. Tails and Sonic Pals is very good. I like pretty much everything they put out. I highly recommend that channel. Solaria, Fluttershy, Vector Scene, rah. Janisha Jones, he even made Black Shadow Exodus pilot. That's the last time he made it, and I must say that's pretty good. Yeah, you see, and this is the issue with a lot of YouTube. When you guys get into like YouTube series or a YouTube story, a lot of these series end. They never get finished. I've been at Harmony and Chaos on YouTube. Like my first episode, actually, Harmony and Chaos just had its 7th birthday. Harmony and Chaos about a week ago turned 7 years old. So I've been writing this series for 7 years. The very first episode of Harmony and Chaos came out, I want to say January on YouTube of 2017. So like I said, this series is not going to just disappear. It's not. Even with the whole voice actor thing that went down at the start of summer, this series was never going to end until I either die or finish the series. So one of those two things happen. If the series randomly stops and after like 2 years I don't post a new Harmony and Chaos, I'm dead. So if I go if I don't announce a 1-year hiatus and you just stop seeing Harmony and Chaos, that means I'm dead. So yeah, I do plan to finish this series. It may take me 20 fucking years. Sorry for the F-bomb, but it's good. I plan on finishing the series one way or another. But yes, like I said, if the series stops and you don't get any more Harmony and Chaos, Michael is dead. Literally. Unless I finish the series, that's the only way the series is going to stop. But yeah. Let's Michael Collins, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live stream. I I watched the episode and I think it was a mistake for Earthaya to send Cream on that mission against Aeon, as it was asking to fail, in my opinion. That's not a mission for a novice. You're absolutely right. Queen Earthaya didn't consider it a novice. She considered it, now Queen Earthaya considered it a novice mission. It's literally, you have the power to obliterate Aeon. You have the power to literally knock Aeon out in one punch and get his amulet. But see, Cream was scared. You guys have to remember, like, Cream is an angel, so her power exceeds Aeon's, no questions asked. But Cream doesn't realize how powerful she is in this moment. She doesn't realize how powerful she is in this moment. And again, she's an adolescent, so she's very scared. She's not a violent being. She's very loving and very, she's just very loving and nurturing, and she's just a friendly person. So she's not violent. She has a hard time with violence. But that's why I said Queen Earthaya, in her mind, this is an easy mission. All you have to do, don't kill Aeon. We're not asking you to kill Aeon. You're supposed to retrieve that amulet by any means necessary. You have the power to knock the dude out and take the amulet, and that's the end of it. But again, Cream not being a fighter, she's very squeamish. That goes back to the start of the episode where, Cream is very like, oh my God, I can't handle this. This is I'm not cut out for this. But yeah, that's why Cream fails. Cream fails because she doesn't have faith in her own power, and she's scared. She doesn't know. She doesn't know how powerful she is per se. But to Queen Earthaya, this was an easy mission, in her mind, easy. But again, Cream not being violent, it was hard on her. Solaria, definitely, yeah. We don't want to lose you again. I don't. You're my, other than Plush, you're my original. So you've pretty much been here for the last 2 years. So Janisha Jones. Oh, I watched that channel. Me and Sis are so good and funny. I even watched Sonic. Gotta go fast, and sometimes Charmy channel. Well, have you ever watched Multiverse Sonic? I have not. I've actually seen a couple of things from the Charmy channel. Charmy channel is cute. I do like the Charmy channel. I've watched a couple of videos from that as well. Now that you mention it. Levi, I know who to blame if it does happen. Solaria, if y'all lose me again, assume I pieced myself out. No, you're I hope that's not the case. But we are going to take, right now I'm planning a 1-year hiatus after the season finale. Mainly because I want to get at least 6 episodes of season 4 done and ready for YouTube before I post episodes. I want to be at least 6 episodes ahead when Harmony and Chaos starts season 4. So I'm kind of like, each episode roughly takes me 2 or 3 months to complete. So I'm banking on I get about 6 episodes done, voiced, and completely converted to video and ready to go. What you guys are going to see is when I do finish a video, I will post it to YouTube. And I will put the release date. So you guys will have the official release date of the episode. I don't want to say I'm going to stick to my guns on a 1-year hiatus. I might knock it down to 8 or 10 months. It depends on how many episodes we get done. Ideally, I would like to have at least 6 episodes done. So I at least want to be 6 episodes ahead. I want to do that so I can give you guys a new episode every couple of weeks, like every 2 weeks. If I get a stockpile of episodes going, I can give you guys a new episode 2 weeks apart, essentially. Michael Collins, I think the reason Twilight has success against the villains is because the villains they fight, while power hungry, are more interested in ruling than killing the main 6. Yeah, we see that to be the case. The big difference was Chrysalis. Chrysalis definitely wanted to kill all of them. That was an exception. Dark Oak definitely wanted to kill Sonic. He didn't give a shit about ruling Equestria. Dark Oak went to Equestria to just rip Sonic to pieces. That was his only goal. And I think he wanted to get the Chaos Emerald so he can recharge his life cells, because he's mainly a robot. So he wanted to like recharge his life cells. But no, that's a good observation, Michael. No, don't say that, Solaria. Don't see. That's the thing. You cannot let other people do that. We'll talk in VC or general after or during or whenever you're available, but don't let them do that. It's ridiculous. Like I said, you're not getting kicked out of this, so don't let that bother you. I would view it that this is like your escape. So we'll definitely we'll DM me. We'll talk. Like I said, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. Oh, I know. I saw the message. So, well, like I said, yeah, we'll talk in the private sector. Yusef, hello, good people. What's up, Yusef? It's always nice having you in the chat as well. One of my day oneers, Yusef, been with me since day one. From the very, very first episode that had no voicing, just you read it yourself. Yusuf has been here every step of the way, all 7 years. Michael Collins, even if the villains in MLP 1, going by the way human history worked, the villains would either be overthrown by the populace or by a coalition of nations. Yeah, that also, I kind of agree with that. But really, I don't know. In MLP, you never really see the populace get involved until the very last episode when they finally realize, oh, hey, if we come together, friendship is magic and all that. But yeah, it's not really until the very last episode of MLP did you see, that you saw a coalition of normal everyday ponies coming together. Yusef, sorry I'm late. I was frying chicken in an air fryer. Oh, man. No, you're good. You're good, Yusef. So getting back into episode 95, we go to the next day. We go to the next day, and we jump right into. I'm trying to figure out the sequence of if it was. No, we go to the meeting first with Princess Celestia, Pinkie Pie, and Shadow. So Pinkie Pie, before Pinkie Pie arrives, Twilight tells Princess Celestia of everything that Cream told them the night before. And she says, look, I think we need to talk about what Cream told me. Because I think this is going to factor into your decision as to whether or not you strip Pinkie Pie of the element of laughter. I think it might change your opinion on things because we may need Pinkie Pie. The one thing I can't do right now is try to find a replacement for the element of laughter. Who am I going to find that's going to replace Pinkie Pie for that? So in Twilight's mind, she has to tell Princess Celestia what she knows about the fight with Aeon and Eclipse. So Pinkie Pie arrives, and Princess Celestia does not waste any time in telling Pinkie Pie what her fate is. She pretty much had her mind made up before Twilight said anything anyway. She was never going to strip Pinkie Pie of the element of laughter, so don't think that that was ever going to be the case. Given Pinkie's track record of being the element of laughter, she felt that Pinkie went through a very traumatic experience with Dark Swirl. The thing that worried Celestia about Pinkie Pie lashing out at Pacific Glow was that it was a residual effect of Dark Swirl's magic, that maybe there was some lingering darkness inside of Pinkie Pie that caused her to lash out at Pacific Glow. And she just wanted to make sure that that was not the case. So Pinkie Pie tells her, no, that was my own anger. It had nothing to do. It was just me basically being angry, seeing Manic with another girl. That was my own jealous rage. And I just lost it. That's what she told Pinkie. That's what she told Princess Celestia, that it really, there was no dark feelings from Dark Swirl left over, which is exactly what Princess Celestia wanted to hear. So she tells Pinkie Pie, okay, look, I'm not going to force you to go through counseling with Twilight. Twilight's pregnant. She's getting deeper and deeper into the pregnancy. I don't want to have, if you need Twilight, just go to her on your own. You basically said what I needed you to say. It's not any lingering Dark Swirl magic. So Princess Celestia allows Pinkie Pie to keep her element of laughter. And really what Celestia found out about what happened with Aeon, it only made her decision more solidified, because she knew as well, like, we can't replace an element of harmony right now. I just need to make sure Pinkie Pie is in the right frame of mind, because if she attempts to use the elements of harmony, it could backfire on us, because you cannot use the elements of harmony with an evil heart. So she wanted to just make sure that Pinkie Pie was good. Once she sees that Pinkie is good, Pinkie leaves. She's given the okay to leave. And before Princess Celestia leaves, she insists that Twilight keeps her informed of anything that they may find out about Aeon and all that other stuff. What I find to be funny is that Princess Celestia doesn't make any reference really to the unknown alicorn imbalance that was being sensed in outer space by Twilight and Sonic. After writing it, I was like, maybe, I just thought it was kind of funny that Celestia really didn't even care about it. Yeah, that part I just thought was, in hindsight, I thought that was weird that Celestia didn't ask Twilight about it. So before we move on, I see a lot of chatting going on, so I'm gonna. Plush says something about, like, I was doing hard math to find out how long it would take to walk. What a fast character could run per second. Michael Collins says, I will wait until the next episode to see if Aeon is definitively dead, as this episode was very vague. Yes, that was kind of the whole point. I wanted it to leave it open for suspense purposes. Michael Collins, while I think Pinkie's method of spreading laughter extremely childish, I can acknowledge how successful it is. It is very successful. Janesha Jones, I wouldn't be surprised if Aeon is alive, because it happened in Dragon Ball when Goku escaped from the planet Namek, exploring, and if that happens, they not only gonna face Eggman, Return, and Infinite. Wow, this thing. Solaria's brain hurts. Let's see. So after that, then we go to outer space, and this is where the big moment was. This was my favorite moment of Harmony and Chaos period. I've been waiting for this moment for 7 years. Eggman showing up in Equestria. Now, keep in mind, in Equestrian timeline, an HC timeline, we are coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the Mobians being on Equestria. We are coming up to that moment. Right now, I am shooting for episode 100 to be the big 1-year anniversary episode. Right now, I'm planning on episode 4, or that would be season 4, episode 4, which would be episode 100, officially, of Harmony and Cast. I'm trying to save that moment. I'm trying to save that moment for that particular episode 100, which would be the Grand Galloping Gala episode as well. Let's see. So, getting back into it. Oh my God, my brain is not working right now because it's midnight. So, where was I? Jesus Christ. So, come out of... Oh, yeah, so it's Eggman, the big Eggman reveal. We go into outer space, and now we find out what is causing the communication problem. We come to find out it's Dr. Eggman's ship. Now, a lot of you guys are saying, wait. Eggman wasn't supposed to come for 3 years. It's been a year. How is he here? Well, during that 1-year time, somehow Boku and Deku managed to fix Eggman's hyperdrive, or his hyperspace modulator, that allows them to basically move at the speed of light. So, basically moving at warp speed, they were able to get to Equestria earlier than expected. You can thank Boku and Deku for that. They fixed the hyperspace modulator, and we come to find out they've been in Equestria. They've been in Equestria's orbit for about a week. So they've been doing more and more research on everything that's been going on. So they're finding out real quick on how powerful the ponies are, and they're figuring out pretty much the history. The computer is telling them all of the planet's history, what's happened. So they're well aware of the elements of harmony. They're also aware of the elements of harmony because Eggman had also found some of Princess Celestia's, not Celestia. He found another version of Celesta's diary. He did find some notes about the elements of harmony there as well, in the ruins of the Equestrian Empire. Again, this is all stuff that's going to come out eventually. So Boku tells Boku and Deku, look, I don't think the doctor's going to be very happy when he found out that you ran tests on the Phantom Ruby without him. At that point, Boku goes into Eggman's hyperspace chamber where he's sleeping in hyperspace. If you guys watched the Alien movies or the with Sigourney Weaver, kind of the same concept where you just sleep. So it's a hyperspace sleep or whatever. So Boku turns off the machine and wakes Eggman up. And Eggman is very shocked to hear it's only been a year. Boku basically fills Eggman in real quick about everything that Boku and Deku did. Eggman kind of gets triggered when he finds out that they tested the Phantom Ruby's powers and kind of measured it to Sonic's to kind of see like where the balance is. And in order to do that, Infinite had to actually be up and out of his sleep chamber. God, my reflux is bad right now. So Infinite would have had to have been waking up. So Infinite, we come to find out that Infinite was waking up periodically to check in with Boku and Deku. And in this moment, Infinite actually powered up. He used the Phantom Ruby and kind of powered up a little bit to kind of give Boku and Deku an idea as to where Infinite's power was compared to Sonic's and Shadow's powers. Let's see. Michael Collins says, I think since ponies aren't capable of space travel, I am surprised they can detect Infinite's wavelength at all. It's basically the the alicorn imbalance, the magic that they're sensing, especially Twilight and Sonic. Michael Collins says, I am honestly impressed, really. Despite how primitive ponies are, technology compared to humans and Mobians, they are very powerful beings. They are. I think the other thing is we've seen on My Little Pony, like Friendship is Magic. We know the ponies have television. We've seen them watch television. We've seen them listen to radios. So they would have to have some sort of satellite of some kind to bounce signals off of. They would have to have some sort of satellite for that. So I'm assuming at some point, we never saw it, some scientist pony came up with a satellite. Yes, good night, Solaria. Again, we'll talk more about what's going on tomorrow, and you can fill me in. Michael Collins says, I doubt it. But no, like, if you watch the Friendship is Magic, considering what we see in Ponyville and Canterlot, well, the thing is like the G5 ponies have cell phones. So, I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, we've seen Rainbow Dash watching TV, and in order to watch TV, you would have to have a satellite in outer space for that, because you would have to bounce signals off of that and stuff. So, yeah, they would have to have some sort of satellite out there. We didn't see them use cell phones in G4, but in G5, they have cell phones. So, yeah, which I'm actually going to introduce cell phones to this series in HC. It's going to be, this is much further. This is a little bit down the line. Tails Cellular. Tails is going to create his own cell phone company. So, among other things, Tails is actually going to become very rich in this series, because Tails actually is going to invent a lot of things, which is really cool. I've been toying with those ideas lately about Tails, because I'm like, I want Tails to kind of be to have like a bigger role. Tails and Chris they're gonna come up with a lot of stuff, because keep in mind, like, Chris's character was a rocket scientist on Earth before he came to Equestria. So yeah, him and Chris are gonna come up with a lot of cool things in the seasons down the line. And Tails and Chris become pretty much filthy rich at some point. So, yeah. But yeah. And actually, I'll get into more details about Tails. He's inventing something in Fluttershy's basement, and it's kind of a big deal what he's inventing down there. I don't want to say a big deal, but it's something. But Tails is actually going to create cell phones in Equestria. Since they have him in G5, Tails is going to, knowing what Tails knows about communication, he's actually going to create his own cell phones, which is kind of cool. It's going to be kind of cool, actually, I think. So, Michael Collins, I'll have to watch the show again, because I never saw Rainbow Dash watch TV. Yeah, there's TV. They watch TV and stuff. And I know they listen to music. They have music and they listen to radios. Obviously, they would have to have some form of music, because they have musicians. They have movie stars, too. Like, there's celebrities in Equestria. They definitely have a way of watching TV. That, and in Harmony and Chaos, they watch Pegasus Ball on television. So they do have, at least in HC, they have TV. So, yeah. Janisha Jones, I just realized I watched your video during COVID-19 and I was bored. That I happened to find your videos and I watch it, and I was hooked ever since. And this is my first time doing live chat. Well, you are always welcome. And thank you, Janisha. She also says, I love your videos, by the way. You are always welcome to the chat. The kingdom is welcome. The kingdom is for everybody. In fact, you guys are the kingdom. You guys are the kingdom, by the way. I refer to you guys as the kingdom. So the kingdom is actually named after you guys, the fans. Michael Collins, will the Royal Guard ever modernize beyond Spears? I'm not giving that away. I'm not giving that away because what is in Fluttershy's basement? What is Tails doing in Fluttershy's basement? What is the project he's working on down there? That's going to become kind of a big deal. And Charmy kind of figures it out. Charmy finds all the stuff that Tails is working on or was working on downstairs. And Tails was working on some stuff. I'm going to tell you that right now. When Charmy finds the stuff that Tails was working on down there, Tails was creating some stuff. Tails was doing some stuff. So, yeah, Tails has been busy this whole time, and we never saw what Tails was up to down there on his spare time before he left Fluttershy. So, yeah. Yeah, I just came up with that concept within the last week of what, because I did reference it in this episode about Tails having a project. I go, now what project am I going to have Tails working on down there? It has to be something big. So, yeah, and I came up with something pretty big. What Tails is working on down there is a pretty big deal. And it's actually kind of going to answer Michael Collins' question in some ways right there. So I don't want to give it away right away. Janisha Jones. Oh, thank you. I tried to be on the chats. Yeah, everybody, you guys are always welcome to these chats. As long as it stays respectful and there's no name calling between you guys, you will not have any issue in these chats. Just ask me anything you want about Harmony and Chaos or whatever. Where were we? So Eggman is none too happy when he finds out that the Phantom Ruby was being tested without his knowledge. Mainly the reason why Eggman is upset is because the power of that ruby can destroy stuff. And he was more worried that, oh my God, the ship could have been destroyed. And what's worse is that they using the Phantom Ruby could have gave us away. So basically, that's why Eggman's upset. All right, so after that scene, oh my God, I cannot remember half the stuff I should be remembering. After that, trying to remember. I think we go to Fluttershy's cottage where Vector where Chaotix is meeting up with Fluttershy. So Fluttershy is meeting with Chaotix, and they agree to move into Fluttershy's cottage. But the deal is that Espio said, well, we're not just going to move in here and freeload. We're going to help. We want to help you. We do want to help. We're not going to just live here rent free and not do anything to help you. And they basically agree to that. Charmy immediately, knowing that Tails, because Fluttershy says, well, I also have a couch in the basement. And she goes, don't mind all the stuff that's down there. Tails was working on a project. So immediately Charmy's like, oh my God, Tails was working on a project? I'm going to go down and live in the basement then. Charmy and Tails are exactly alike in the sense that they're both techies. In fact, in Sonic X, you actually saw Charmy and Tails working together a lot on the X Tornado. And actually, I forget what they call it after they like upgrade it from the X Tornado to something even better than the X Tornado. They actually upgrade it to something even higher than that. I don't remember what it's called. Holy shit. I haven't watched Sonic X in about, I would say a decade and a half. I got through the whole series in probably like 2012. So it's been a long time. I'm just trying to remember all the stuff from that series in particular. Michael Collins. Levi asks, I don't know what it is. It's the Tails doll. I know what it is. It's the Tails doll. No, it's not yet anyway. No, it's not. No. It's not the Tails doll. Nice try. LOL. Michael Collins, I love how Infinite points out Eggman's constant incompetence and failures time and time again. And how can a guy with, oh my goodness, I got this thing. How can a guy with a 300 IQ be so incompetent? Well, again, there's this thing called book smart versus street smart. Eggman's not very street smart, and I work with a lot of geniuses in my line of work. I work with a lot of geniuses, and I will tell you, the common sense ain't there. I'm going to tell you right now, people who are geniuses have very rarely are they born with common sense. I'm going to tell you that right now. I work with a lot of geniuses, and common sense, not there. Not there. They're smart. They're super book smart, scientifically smart, but and he says Twilight Sparkle is no exception. No, I know how you feel about Twilight, Michael. Michael is Twilight's nemesis. So, I get tired. So they agree to move into Fluttershy's place. That's the whole basis of that. The big thing is what is in Fluttershy's basement. I haven't decided when I'm going to reveal that yet, but Charmy is going to find some stuff, and he's going to be like, "What is Tails doing?" Yeah, it's pretty. It's major. What Tails is working on down there was major. So, let's see. Getting back into it. After that, we go back to the Egg Destroyer, and Eggman has made his way onto the control deck, and he gets welcomed back by the bots. He's in a good spirits overall, but then he asks, "Well, how did the test of the Phantom Ruby go?" He's like, what? And then Eggman kind of goes off like, "You could have destroyed the ship." He's like, "That and you could have gave our position away," which Eggman is kind of right. They did kind of give away their position when they used the Phantom Ruby in any case. But they tell Dr. Eggman, "Look, we got a lot of significant data off of our findings from using the Phantom Ruby. And it measures up really well when compared to Sonic." And then we see Infinite. We didn't know Infinite was going to be part of this, but Infinite joined Eggman while they were still on Mobius at some point. And we will come to find that out because Hunter and Nightshade, Hunter gets very scared when he sensed Infinite, because he can sense Infinite's life force. He can sense Infinite's natural power, which he can't put his finger on it, but he remembers sensing that power the day that he was impaled from behind, which we would come to find out would be Infinite. But Infinite, his big worry is Shadow. And we see Infinite say, "Shadow could pose a serious threat to our whatever plans we come up with." Basically, we have this plan that you're going to recreate the remote control and get control of Shadow again. So what they don't know is that Hunter removed Shadow's microchip a couple of the episode prior before that. So the whole basis of Infinite's plan right now is that they're going to regain control of Shadow, and Infinite's going to have Shadow helping him. So he already doesn't think that Sonic is going to be an issue. It's just getting control of Shadow in Infinite's mind. And we see Infinite. Infinite is pretty savage. And I want Infinite to be more savage in HC. He really took control of the ship, basically. Infinite saying, "Look, I'm doing things my way." That's it's like, "We're gonna wind up doing things my way. I'm the one with the power. I can crush you at the snap of my fingers. So we're doing things my way, or at least I'm doing what I want to do." So, end of story. I'm handling Sonic. I promised you Sonic's head on a platter as a debt for the Phantom Ruby. You promised me power, and then I promised you Sonic's head on a platter. Same thing with Hunter. Eggman promised him power, so he agreed to take Hunter out for Eggman. That was the whole thing. So as this scene continues, they decide to land on the planet. Eggman's like, well, Eggman was afraid that the use of the Phantom Ruby may have given them away. So he kind of wants to like lay low a little bit. So he orders the bots to land the ship on the planet so they can kind of scope things out and get a feel for what the planet is like. The other thing Eggman wants to do, he wants to try to scope out locations for a new base on the planet. So he agrees. He wants to split up with Infinite so they can cover more ground. At this point, Hunter now senses. Hunter senses Infinite, his natural power. Hunter can sense chaos energy, but he can't sense the alicorn magic. But he can sense chaos energy, since he was created from the Chaos Emeralds by Eggman. So, so Hunter and Nightshade, they both sense that Infinite is on the planet. Hunter is visibly shaken by feeling Infinite's power. Again, he can't. All Hunter knows is that he remembers sensing that power the day he was nearly killed. So that's why he's kind of scared. Nightshade, being protective of Hunter, decides I will go and see what's up with this power and figure it out for you. And then Hunter said, well, let me come with you, Senpai. I'm sick of hiding. It's time that I come with you. So Nightshade reluctantly agrees. And Hunter climbs on Nightshade's back, and then they fly to the location where Eggman and Infinite are. I'm trying to think if there's anything else during the episode I need to talk about. Yeah, because during this moment, during this, while all this is going on, Knuckles has now gone to Twilight's castle to inform Shadow and Twilight about the crack in the Master Emerald. How Knuckles came about this crack, he noticed that the Chaos Emeralds are not charging as fast as they normally do. So Knuckles, having experienced this before, knows exactly what's going on. So he checks the Master Emerald and notices the crack. So now he goes to Twilight's castle to tell Shadow and Twilight about the crack in the emerald. The other warning that Knuckles has is that the next time they use the Chaos Emeralds will probably be the last time that they use them, if they don't allow the emeralds to recharge or have the time to recharge fully their powers. The other thing that Knuckles tells Shadow is, I never wanted to use these emeralds on Equestria. This is why. Because when we overuse the emeralds, it forces the emeralds to release the negative chaos energy that they store up. So now we have a crack in the Master Emerald, which is what we've been trying to avoid. And Knuckles also tells Shadow, he's like, I was hoping we would avoid it now because you and Sonic are becoming so powerful. You guys basically don't need the emeralds anymore. And that's when Twilight steps in and says, well, that may be true for Sonic, but that's not true for Shadow. And Shadow is immediately taken aback, like, whoa, what do you mean by that, Twilight? And she tells him, look, you mean you didn't know that the powers that we gave you are temporary? You're not an alicorn, Shadow. You're not capable of producing alicorn magic. So the magic that you were given by, Princess Celestia, Luna, me, And the power that you were given by Discord is all temporary. It's just power we gave you that your body was able to store up for a while. You can't reproduce that magic, so you're going to lose it. Now, that's why I said, keep that in mind for Aeon destroying his amulet, because that is going to come into play in the ultimate end of the God of Power thing. What we're going to come to find out is that even the God of Power is never meant to be permanent. It is borrowed power. And if you guys remember how I explained it, was each triad comes together to form the triad. So when whichever one decides to absorb the triad of power, they immediately become the God of Power as far as power. But again, it's borrowed power. Once that transformation breaks, the power leaves and goes back to the original holders. So same thing is going to apply to Aeon. Shadow has borrowed alicorn magic. Now that Aeon broke his amulet, he is just storing up divine powers. And eventually, the divine power is going to run out. So keep that in mind. Aeon destroying the amulet was a big, big mistake. We will digress. So that's why this scene is so important, because Twilight is telling Shadow. The other thing she tells Shadow is, well, Sonic does have alicorn in his lineage. There's no telling to how powerful Sonic is going to become. His magical ability is growing, and he can create his own magic. That's why there's no telling what the depths of Sonic's power is going to get to. The other thing that Twilight tells Shadow is, you absorb some of Discord's magic, so there's no telling that if, Sonic is going to go through a major transformation like he did. Maybe it was Discord's magic that allowed you to transform into the silver form of yours, is basically what she's trying to tell Shadow. I see a lot of activity going on in the chat, so I'm going to get back into that in a minute. Shadow is shocked when he heard this. He was shocked because he literally, and it's like, well, didn't you realize that you're losing power? She was like, you don't realize that, like, you're magical. She goes, the magic that I'm sensing from you is far less now than what it was when you left with Starlight to chase after Aeon. She goes, you mean you didn't know? And Shadow's like, well, how much time do I have? Why did I break? Well, how much time do I have? I got my voices crossed there. And Twilight's like, well, there's no telling. I don't know until you transform again exactly how much power you have left. And then that's when they get in, and then Shadow asks about Sonic. Well, what about Sonic? And she tells him, well, there's no telling how powerful he's going to become, because he's already physically in his normal power becoming strong, like very powerful. She goes, and his alicorn, his magical ability is skyrocketing. Like he's really teaching himself how to use it, and it's only increasing dramatically. The one thing that Shadow asks is, well, can he reach that form, the same form that I reached when I defeated Darkswirl? And that's when she says, well, you absorb some of Discord's magic, so there's no telling what's going to happen. That could be a product of Discord's magic. Who knows? So the scene ends with Shadow basically being upset with himself. Again, just self-doubt, like, yeah, some ultimate life form I am. And what exactly did I do, Twilight? I borrowed some Royal Pony's magic and magic from Discord. What exactly did I accomplish? And she reassures him, like, you are our only hope. And during that moment, you were our only hope, Shadow. So you were a hero and are a hero. You're part of the team, is basically what she's trying to tell him. And, don't discredit everything you've done. And then Knuckles backs that up. Shockingly, Knuckles backs it up. Because if you remember in the reboot episodes, Knuckles and Shadow they definitely have their issues with each other. So The fact that Knuckles actually came out and said, "No, no, bro, you've done more. You've done more than you realize." Before we move on to the next scene, which I'm gonna try to remember what it is. Yeah, I remember. It's the ending. But before I do that, I see the chat got blown up, so I'm gonna jump back into it. Janesha Jones says, "Have you watched the Mighty Emperor? He does Sonic. What if you are two and there is a tournament? If you're interested, call what if Sonic Frontiers had a tournament." She thinks I might like it. Like I said, I have not yet even bought Sonic Frontiers. It is definitely the next game I'm buying, so I'm definitely buying that game next. With it being Christmas time, I haven't been able to get my hands on it yet. So I do plan on buying that game at some point because I want to play it. Michael Collins, as much as I love Twilight, when she does a spell, she never considers the moral implications. Example, the reform spell against Discord, which 9 times out of 10 wouldn't have worked anyway. No, Discord's too powerful. You can't reform Discord with magic. At least in canon MLP. Discord had to choose that. And the reason why Discord chose to reform is because of the relationship he forms with Fluttershy. Fluttershy is essentially the reason why Discord reforms. I have not watched Sonic Prime, Janisha. I don't have Netflix. I got rid of Netflix. Mainly because I viewed Netflix as a waste of money. For the amount of money I was paying for it, I wasn't using it at all. I didn't feel like I was getting my money's worth out of Netflix. So I nixed Netflix and I got Peacock instead. So I went with Peacock because I watched WWE. So yeah, that's why I just felt like I was wasting my $9.99 on Netflix, which then, of course, then they come out with Sonic Prime. No, I got rid of Netflix probably 2 years ago. I just didn't feel like it was worth my money. Because I think, didn't Netflix get rid of My Little Pony as well? I don't know if it's still on there or not, but I heard that like they were gonna get rid of My Little Pony off there too. So they didn't. They never even put season 9. Season 9 was never even added to Netflix. So I know Netflix was doing away with a lot of stuff. They were doing away with a lot of the stuff I was watching. So I'm like, I'm not going to pay for Netflix. Most of the stuff I watched, they're taking off. I just wasn't happy with Netflix, which is why I got rid of it. Levi McClellan, if Alduin from Skyrim was in HC, everyone would be done for, mostly because the Elder Scrolls. I can't read the rest of that because it's being blocked by these icons. Levi McClellan, 2 ways to make Shadow mad. 1, hurt his friends. 2, mention Maria and how he failed to protect her. That is true. And that's basically how Shadow is. Like he takes every loss very difficult because in his mind, he's the ultimate life form. So every time he loses, he takes it very badly. And then he feels like he especially Twilight. Anytime he fails, he feels like he let like Twilight down. Janesha Jones, did you know there is another Sonic game called Sonic Dream Team? I've heard of it, never played it. I've never even seen that in the stores yet, Sonic Dream Team. I have not seen, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it in the store. Not even at GameStop. At least not here in Illinois. I don't know. I've never seen it in the games. I have heard of it. And there is another female character. Michael Collins, wait, Shadow will be weaker against Aeon. I'm not ruining that. Michael Collins, it's up to the 4th season. I don't know. It's up to the 4th season. Michael Collins, the remaining seasons are gone though. Oh, it's up to the 4th season. Oh, you're talking about My Little Pony. Jadaisha Jones. Oh, if you want, I can tell which website. I can tell you when I get a chance, and it's free. And I got seasons 1 and 2. Oh, please do, yeah, because I would love to watch Sonic Prime. I've only seen like what they posted on the internet for like teasers for it. I know Ashley Ball is the voice of Tails, so Tails sounds a lot like Rainbow Dash in Sonic Prime. I know that. Michael Collins. I never did like the School of Friendship, to be honest. I always saw it as a white man's burden. What? What? Well, you're not going to like this, Michael Collins. The School of Friendship is going to be a thing in HC. It's going to be a thing. Because, again, I want to finish off what I was doing with Twilight's Kingdom with Katrina, Katana, well, more so with Katana. I never did finish Twilight's Kingdom, mainly because it interfered with Harmony and Chaos too much. And I had a hard time writing 2 series. So I did away with Twilight's Kingdom. But I want to finish that story, so I'm going to do it in Harmony and Chaos. And in order to do that, I need the School of Friendship. Oh, Sonic Dream Team is a mobile game. Okay, that explains it. On Apple Arcade. Okay. Really? Only a select people can play it? That's weird. Yeah, I heard of it. I've definitely heard of Sonic Dream Team because I've heard people talking about it on the internet. Yeah. I didn't know it was a phone game though. Like, I've seen stuff advertised for it already. It's an Apple Arcade game. That's yet another Sonic game I'm going to be behind on. All right, so to get it back into the final sequence of this episode, God, my voice. So we're going to finish off the episode. Eggman and Infinite are now on the planet, and they decide that they're going to split up. Eggman is not impressed with Equestria at all. He kind of like trashes the planet, like, what a dump. This place is going to benefit when it becomes the Eggman Empire. And Infinite goes, you are basically Infinite buries Eggman again. Like, you are such a stupid son of a. He's like, you have no idea of the powers and the wonders that lie on this planet. Like, you have no clue of the powers that lie here. Like, how mystical this place is. He's like, literally, we're figuring out that all that stuff that we found at the Equestrian Empire ruins is all real. It's not fake. He's like, you have no idea of the powers that are here and what mystical wonders this place holds. And then that's when they sense Nightshade. During that little part where Infinite's like, as a matter of fact, you have no idea that the second strongest power on the planet, which is Nightshade, is now making his way over here as we speak. And Eggman goes into his little hovercraft and he types away on his computer and is at an absolute shock to see how powerful Nightshade's power is. Just a natural ability alone. And Eggman very quickly says, well, you got the Phantom Ruby, see ya! And he flies off. And like a coward, like he typically does. Infinite then calls him a coward. And very quickly, because he senses Nightshade's closing in pretty quick. So he decides to use the Phantom Ruby to turn completely invisible. When Nightshade and Hunter land, they can still sense Aeon's natural power. Or not Aeon. They can sense Infinite's natural power. And at the same time, Nightshade, being an alicorn, can still sense the Phantom Ruby. Because, any alicorn can sense the Phantom Ruby. So, at this point as well, Sonic can sense what's going on. He can also sense that Infinite is on the planet. And that he's used the Phantom Ruby because, again, there's another imbalance of alicorn magic. So, Nightshade being able to sense not only Infinite's power, but he can sense the Alicorn imbalance, the Alicorn magic imbalance. So he tells Hunter, clear the area because I'm gonna settle this right now. So Nightshade flies up and he starts to power up his unicorn horn to fire an energy blast at the ground to literally scare what he is sensing out. Smoke him out, per se. And what Nightshade doesn't realize as he's counting down is that Infinite uses the Phantom Ruby to create the 2 red cubed walls, and they smash Nightshade. This is why I'm saying why having Soletta's power, Dark Swirl's power in there, and pretty much any pony that was alive on Mobius during the time of Soletta and pretty much Soletta's reign on Mobius in the Equestrian Empire, Soletta took a lot of magic from those ponies to create the Phantom Ruby. So this thing is more powerful than it is in Sonic Forces. It's more powerful than what Sonic Forces had. So Nightshade, being caught off guard, literally gets squashed by the 2 red cube walls, and he's knocked out, falls to the ground unconscious. Hunter, worrying about Nightshade, rushes to him. At this moment, Shadow senses that Nightshade's natural power. He sensed that Nightshade was brought down in one blow because his life force is diminished. He's not dead, but his life force took a big hit. So Shadow immediately knew that Nightshade was brought down in one shot. Shadow is immediately thinking that it's Aeon. Twilight tells him, no, that was not Aeon. That was the same power we sensed basically yesterday. It was that same imbalance that we sensed yesterday of Alicorn magic. And she tells Shadow to go track down the area, track down the power, the area in which you sense Nightshade. So Shadow, as he's flying off, can still sense Infinite's like natural power. So that's what he's latching onto. He's trying to latch onto Infinite's life force. So he's on his way. And Hunter wants to protect Nightshade. So Hunter, being able to sense where Infinite is based off his natural power, shoots an energy blast at Infinite, who, keep in mind, is still invisible. Infinite dodges it. And as Infinite dodges, he then counterattacks Hunter and punches him across the landscape and sent him bouncing across the landscape. Before Hunter can basically get up and recover, he punches Hunter in the stomach and knocks the wind out of him, and Hunter falls to the ground. At this point, Infinite is literally standing over Hunter, like holding him down with his foot, and then shows himself. And immediately Hunter knows now that this was the guy that tried to kill me. And then he even asks Infinite, you're the one who impaled me and tried to kill me on Mobius. And Infinite, being as savage as he is, didn't even hesitate to say, indeed. And at this moment, he senses Shadow coming. Knowing that Shadow, as of right now, is the most powerful being on the planet, as of right now, does not want to mess with Shadow at all. So he flies off. So he tells Hunter, you owe me. I'm going to collect on the debt, but today is not that day. That debt is Hunter's life. Because Infinite promised Eggman to kill Hunter. And thinking that Hunter's been dead, Infinite is the reason why Hunter used the Master Emerald to travel to Equestria in the first place. So Hunter, just wanting to escape Mobius, wound up going to Knuckles to use the emeralds. It was that incident that forced him to do it. So after this, Infinite uses the Phantom Ruby and literally teleports, and that's how the episode ends. With Infinite fleeing and not dealing with and finishing off Hunter. So Shadow basically saved Hunter's life there, and that's where the episode ends. Overall, episode 95 was a very good episode. A lot of cool things happened in the episode, and I don't know, what did you guys think of the episode overall? Episode 95. Go ahead and chat it up in the chat here. But I thought it was a good episode, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you guys liked episode 95, the season finale is incredible. It's so frantic. The entire episode, however long it's going to be, you're on the edge of your seat. You're going to be on the edge of your seat with that finale from start to finish. It's not going to be a boring episode by any means. So no worries on that front. I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought of episode 95. I love that episode just because of me finally being able to voice Eggman. I've been wanting to do it for so freaking long. I am so happy I can do it now. I've voiced Eggman for a couple of other projects, and I could not wait to voice Eggman in Harmony Cast. I've been waiting. And that's another reason why I've bumped it up, because I'm kind of like, I have to voice Eggman. I can't go without it anymore. Michael Collins, don't worry, Michael. While it may seem like I'm bashing Twilight, I don't hate her. She sometimes can be rather pushy with friendship, in my opinion. No, she is, and mainly because after all these years, she realizes how important friendship is. It's essentially, in canon MLP, essentially friendship is what keeps them safe. Because up until the finale episode of MLP, they were always worried about the Wendigos causing eternal winter. So she realizes how important friendship is, and how important it is for all of the pony tribes to get along. Because if there's any division between the pony tribes, the Wendigos are going to come back. Twilight also knows that it is friendship that powers the elements of harmony as well, which is why I think she is so pushy about it. Oh, God, I got an itch in my foot. I think that's why Twilight winds up being so pushy about friendship, because it is such a vital part to keeping Equestria safe on the real show. Michael Collins, I am curious as to why the ponies were so easy to divide in the finale. I forget what the reason is. I know the reason. I think it had to do with Chrysalis, or it was Chrysalis, Cozy Glow, Tirek, who basically get the ponies to turn on each other. And what they did was, I think it was they blamed the Pegasi for destroying the crops. That's how it started. I think that's what it was. Oh, good night, Janisha. Yeah, I'm about to finish anyway, so no worries there. Thanks for stopping by the live stream. And yeah, again, you're always welcome to chat in here. And by all means, I'm so glad you enjoy Harmony and Chaos. You guys are the reasons why I continue to write the series. And in fact, the channel continues to grow with every episode I put out. So that's why I keep doing it. So yeah, I love entertaining you guys. So I didn't think Harmony and Chaos would become this popular, to be honest with you. It's already far exceeded my expectations as far as popularity. But I am glad you guys are enjoying the series, because I'm going to keep writing it until either I die or I finish the series. So, and we are a long way away from the series being done. I joke around because I say this series, I'm going to die before this series is finished. I already have that feeling in my head. And I don't want to, I honestly think sometimes this series is what keeps me going sometimes. Other than my children, this series does keep me going. It gives me something positive to work on. So, yeah. Well, anyway, guys, I don't have anything else to really say. I don't know time frame wise about when the season finale is going to be done. I literally just finished putting everything I wrote in my notebook at work. I just finished putting all of that into the PowerPoints. And I will tell you right now, the PowerPoint presentation is at 130 something slides. I want to say 137 slides. And that's just from what I had written in my notebook. Everything I had written in that notebook is now officially in the computer. So now everything I do from this point forward is pretty much going to be straight from the brain into the computer. So it's coming along. If I had to guess, I'm at least a third, maybe almost halfway through the episode as far as writing it. So hopefully, I'm hoping maybe after New Year's, the season finale. I don't know how the availability. We're in the holiday season right now, so the availability of the voice actors is going to be very tight. So I'm not going to push the voice team to voice until after the holidays. If it turns out we do have a Sunday and I get the episode done quick enough, and we do have a Sunday where we are able to get together, we will voice it. But again, with this being a holiday season, I can't see this episode coming out until after New Year. Realistically. I mean, I'll have it written and completely done and written before Christmas, I'm sure. But as far as getting all of us together to voice act it, I can't see us doing any voice acting until after New Year's right now. I can't. So I would say expect the season finale after New Year's. We might be able to. It depends. It really depends on how quickly I get it written, and if me and the voice actors have the free time to all get together to voice it. I'm not going to push the team until after the holidays anyway. So, yeah, that's pretty much the only update I got for that episode. I will say it's very good. It's not going to disappoint. Anyway, guys, I want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. We are officially in the holiday season now, so if you guys are going to go out and you guys are going to do Black Friday shopping, be safe out there. There's been a lot of mass shootings at Walmart. There's been a lot of that stuff going on, so please be careful if you guys are going out with your families to Black Friday shop. Just be careful. Again, happy Thanksgiving, and I want to wish you guys a happy holiday season. The key to the holidays and the whole spirit of the holidays is peace. It's a shame in the world that we have so much, to use a My Little Pony term, we have so much disharmony in our world right now. So just remember what the holiday season is about. It's about peace, love, coming together with your families. And that's really all I got to say, guys. So whatever religion you guys are, if you're even a religion, if you have a holiday during this time of the year, whether that be Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, whatever the holiday is this time of year for you guys, just be safe. That's all that matters. The world is dark right now, very dark. And another reason why I do this is it's good that we can all get together like this and have chats and have live streams and have our own little community here. Like I said earlier in the live stream, I call this series The Kingdom because you guys are the kingdom. You guys are the kingdom. You guys are the fan base. You are the kingdom. That's why I named the episode The Kingdom, because you guys are the kingdom. So I thank you guys very much for supporting the series. I thank you guys for continuing to support it. And we love doing it. We love making as much work as this is. And I know Plush, I see Plush is still in chat. Plush, thank you so much for all the hard work you do with this series. I know it's not easy sitting there recording all of us and listening to all of us in your head for 2 or 3 hours, but you do an amazing job. So thank you for your hard work personally. I know Solaria is not in the chat any longer, but I owe her a huge thank you as well to everything she does or has done for the series. Plush. Look, I suffer for success, laughing my ass off. The other thing Plush said was, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that me and Brandon defeated Goku and Frieza with the help of Sonic, Morty, and SpongeBob. Let me guess, did you guys, was this a Fortnite thing? Is this a Fortnite thing? Like, what game is this? It had to be Fortnite. It had to be something along those lines. Unless you guys had a role play that I don't know about in the chat. So, or in your chat, I should say. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get the heck out of here. It's exactly 1 a.m. here. So I'm going to cut loose for the night. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this unplanned episode of The Kingdom. Again, stay safe out there, guys. Happy holidays. We are officially in the holiday season. Be safe out there, guys. Thank you guys so much. Good night, all, everybody.